going on, SS Muzzleheads? I'm back with another video. I'm doing the daily videos now, baby. The daily vlogs. You hear me? So I'm coming at you guys with an unusual video, something not usual for the car channel, but I'm just getting you guys updated because this is I vlog my life with you guys, so I just want you guys to be here for the road. So as you guys can see by the title of this video, I quit my job, I'm going to tell you guys why I quit my job, the things that I went through with the job, and basically I'm just going to get you guys informed on everything that's going on from now on forward. So as you guys may or may not know, I worked at a Dodge dealership, and before I continue this video, I just want to come out and say that I'm not going to bash the dealership. I'm just basically going to be 100% real, and I'm also going to give thanks to basically how they molded me to get a better understanding how to invest and financially see things from a different perspective. So first things first is I joined the dealership on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2018. 2 years prior to that, leading up into the job at the dealership, I was working at Starbucks. So I worked at Starbucks in 2016, and I basically departed from Starbucks on December the 3rd, 2018, and went to the Dodge dealership on December the 24th. So just like any other job, jobs are going to put you through training. So I went through about a week and a half of training. On January the 6th, I sold my first vehicle. It was a 2015 Jeep Wrangler. It was a monumental moment for me because I was like, dang, I can sell a vehicle. I just sold a vehicle, and I liked how happy they were, and I was happy. So I said, hey, let me go out and keep doing my thing and sell some more vehicles. As a green pea, when you start off at a dealership, this is brand new to me. I never sold a vehicle in my life. As a green pea, you get to start off on a kind of a better pay plan than everyone else in the dealership. Granted that you haven't sold vehicles and you're going to basically need time to kind of structure your way into the business and know how to sell vehicles, how to talk to people and things like that. Instead of getting that $250 a week, I was getting $500 a week, which is, of course, taxed right around $395 a week. I was making around almost $700 every 2 weeks, $1,400 every month. As I start basically getting hungrier and hungrier, I started going out and selling more cars. I sold 8 cars my first month ever selling vehicles. And then I made around 57 or 6 grand my first month. Taking granted that we had a bucket list saying if you sold auction units, you get this extra. If you sold trucks, you get this extra. I think I sold like maybe 5 trucks my first month. Of course, with my upgraded pay rate that I was getting because I was a green pea. I made 6 grand my first month. From January to February the 1st was basically my $500 a week, which was taxed to $395, was basically done on February 1st. Taking granted that they did update the pay to about $295 a week, after taxes. And my second month, I started to notice that my pay was declining. I wasn't making as much money as I did in January. Taking granted that February and March and somewhat of April, they're slow months according to the car people. So I basically was just patient during those 3 cold and slow months. I was ready to pick up in May and June. Before I get into June, which is the month that we're in now, I'm going to basically tell you guys what led up to my departure from the Dodge dealership. All right, so first thing first was the technology. The technology wasn't really that great. It wasn't really that convenient for the salespeople and the customers. You have computers that are about 11 years old, and anyone who's tech savvy nowadays knows that an 11-year-old computer is not really all that great at functioning nowadays with all the new softwares and all the new updates, and basically the computers can't really run those files because they're not basically equipped to run those files because they're outdated. The dealership opened at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we had these meetings from 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Basically the meetings from 8:30 to 9 o'clock would be basically like a pep talk or to set a goal for ourselves throughout the day. We did that for a few months while I was there. And then I remember there was one meeting, the general manager came in because now they're recording our phone calls when customers call in. The customer asks, hey, is this truck still available on you guys' website? So then we'll say, just one moment, I'm going to see if I can find that truck, let me look inside my inventory. So as we're trying to load up the computer, it just freezes. It won't load. Then we have to tell the customer that, sorry, my computer's loading really slow, when the customer really just wants stuff like that, and the general manager wants us to answer like that. There's 450 vehicles out there. I mean, me personally, I don't know who will be able to basically say that vehicle is $30,567. That vehicle is 43,000, you know, and do that for 450 vehicles. I mean, I don't know anyone that's like that. He told us that we sucked on the phone. We can't really access things as quickly as we wanted to. Also, myself, I am very cautious when it comes to people's social security. Those computers are very slow. There's no telling if they got viruses on there, but then we're inputting people's social securities for the credit, you know, credit applications, and who knows what can happen. You know what I'm saying? Who knows who's looking in to try to, I don't know, maybe steal someone's line of credit. You have these old computers, they're not secure. You know what I'm saying? So that was one aspect what I didn't like. So here's another thing of the dealership that, I mean, you either like it or you don't. Some dealerships are run off of gross or they run off of volume. Gross, they're going to be more focusing on making money. Volume, they're going to be more focused on possibly making money, but they're going to be focused on pushing as many units as they can out by the end of the month. Some of the volume stores may sell like 6, 7, 8, 1,000 cars a month. They're just going to try to push out as many units as possible by the end of the month. My dealership was, however, a gross. We sold around 120, 150 cars per month. You kind of take it or you leave it. People are becoming more smarter nowadays. They're basically discovering the actual value of a car before they come in, or they actually do some research and look at the online pricing before they come in. Sometimes what gross dealerships do, they try to sell vehicles at MSRP so they can make that gross, because when you sell vehicles with rebates, you're taking off 3, 4, 6, 10, $15,000 off of a vehicle. So if you sell it at that basically online pricing, you don't really make money off of a new car. You make basically a mini, which is $150. But that $150, you have to use that to pay against your draw that you make every week, which was $375, and then after taxes $295. You add up $375 or you add up $295, however you like to look at it. If you like to look at it after tax to see what you're making or before tax, you do that times 4. What I was making after tax was about $1,100 a month, just base. Then essentially I have to pay that back at the end of the month. But it's not like here's $1,200 and here's your money back for the month. No, it's basically like, if you don't get, let's just use my hat to divide the start of the month to the end of the month. If you look down here, okay, so this is basically your first $295 in that first month. Then you're gonna move to the second period of the month, which is the second week, you get another $295. Then you move to the third one, then you move to the fourth one. Okay, you basically have to pass my cap in order to even think about earning a commission check on the second Friday of the next month. If you don't peek past your draw, you're not going to get anything else but the $1,100. Plus, you work 60 to 70 hours, 78 hours a week. That means that's about 280 to about 300 and some odd hours a month. When you do the math, that's about $3.87 an hour. Okay, essentially I was working for $3.80 something cents an hour. Maybe it's $3.78 an hour, something like that. Okay, 78 hours, and you make $295 in that week. I'm gonna let you guys think on that. You know, you do have the top dogs that's been there, there's always gonna be there, and they basically have to get their deals, essentially, you know what I'm saying? We get these things called leads, right? Leads, L-E-A-D-S, leads as in plural, that filter through the internet manager in the BDC, who basically filters it out to other salesmen. The veterans of the dealership are going to get, you know, they're going to get the better leads because, I mean, they've been there. They worked for a long time at the dealership. They earned their position there. You know what I'm saying? You can't fault them from that. Coming from my standpoint, too, I still have to eat. You know what I'm saying? I still have to pay bills and whatnot, and I don't get the best leads to where I get the earned gross on the bill, because and I'm basically working 78 hours a week, making $295 a week. Basically, the leads that I were getting, people with bad credit, you know, majority of the time, where it's people that I got a lead from January up to June and they still haven't answered the phone. From 8:30 to 9 o'clock, we have this meeting to basically, they tell us to make your appointments, call all your people, and have this plan out for your day. You know what I'm saying? As we should, you know, have a goal set out for today so we can strive to bring some money home. It also gets pretty frustrating when you're asked to call the same people that you know they're not going to answer the phone. You've been calling for 6 months and it just led you nowhere. I'm there 300 hours a month, 300. There's only 720 hours or 750 hours in a month. I'm there for almost half the hours in a single month. I'm not getting a lot of time with family and friends. I'm not getting time to basically keep myself healthy. I'm eating fast food. I'm stressed because I'm not making any money. I'm worried about where my next dollar is going to come from. I'm basically working hard. I'm standing out in the cold. I'm running back and forth in the heat, and you know, it's just not working. Then I come to realize that, you know, our dealership was really slow. Of course, like the traffic of the dealership, I found out that we don't really actually do advertisement. You can't really have a product. Like if I were going to sell this car, right, and I say, hey, I want to think in my head, my vehicle's for sale, but I don't put it online or I don't market it for people to actually see the car. Who's going to know that this car is for sale? Who's going to know this car is here? Which is what they weren't doing. I will be at home watching television and I see the dealership across the street. I live in St. Louis. My dealership is over there in Illinois. My dealership is 40 minutes away from my house in another state. I would basically be sitting at home on my couch and I would see the advertisement for the dealership across the street from us. And I'm like, dude, I mean, where's the advertisement at? I don't see it on YouTube. I don't see it at Busch Stadium. I don't see it at the Blues game. I don't see it on TV, nothing. So nobody knows what we're selling. It just doesn't make sense how the marketing was going. I didn't understand it. I don't know why we weren't marketing and spending so much money on leads and not marketing on TV, on the radio. I mean, I heard South County Dodge in St. Louis, South County, advertisement on the radio. You know, there's been quite a few instances where my deals have been physically taken away. The first instance was this guy came in from an hour away on online pricing on a truck. So he's seen the price online of the truck. So he came in, took him for a test drive, and he liked the truck. When we basically talk numbers and everything, I had him sold on the truck. So I get him on the numbers. And when we're talking numbers and he signed the buyer's order for a set price, which was I think it was like maybe $38,000. Next thing you know it, my sales manager wanted to up the price. He said that there were some added on features, like there was leather in the sunroof, which I get, you know, someone has to pay for that. I get that, someone has to pay for it. But, you know, if you're advertising a product online, you want to make sure that it's the right price, especially for people coming an hour away here to buy that truck for what that truck is worth. So when someone comes in on a set price of a product, this is what they come for. So when someone comes inside the GameStop or Best Buy to buy a TV or whatever, and they see that price advertised online for $399, $799.99, they're coming to get that. Of course, there's going to be tax. But when you're saying that you have to add on these numbers because you forgot to put that it had these features online for the added on product, that rubs people the wrong way. People think that you're going to get over on them. You know what I'm saying? So you're adding on what, $225,000, $3,000 on to what I signed for. Now, $3,000 you add on is kind of a difference. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be spending maybe $40 to $50, maybe $60 extra a month. This woman came in from Festus, Missouri, all the way to Belleville, Illinois. She called into the dealership and said, hey, I see this Wrangler online. I like the Wrangler. I'm going to come in and I want to buy it. I said, okay, I'll see you when you get here. She gets here about an hour and a half later. I let her test drive. We came in and talked pricing. I went up to the front desk. I said, hey, she likes the truck. She likes the Wrangler. Here's the next step. She wants to buy it. So he's like, dude, she knows it's lifted. I said, yeah, she knows it's lifted. And he was like, dude, she know that it's $11,000 more. I was like, was it listed online? He told me, I don't know, go check. So I went to go check and it was not listed online. So once again, a product that is advertised with the updated picture of it being lifted online, the price was not updated. So she figured that, hey, this lifted Wrangler is 30 grand. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to buy it. I talked to him about it. I said, hey, she's really disappointed. She thought that this Wrangler was what it said online with the updated pictures and everything else. He's like, well, if she's going to have to pay 11 grand more. So I went back and talked to her. I said, hey, he's not budging. He's like, yeah, it's 11 grand more. When we looked at it, she said, well, can you put the Wrangler up online to see what the price is? So I said, yes, ma'am, I can. So I pulled the vehicle up online and it said it was priced at 30 grand. When I came back to my sales manager, he was like, fine, I'm updating the price now. So he updated the price while she was sitting in the seat while we were still going throughout the process, and raised the truck, the Wrangler, up to 41 grand. Basically, she felt like she did the wrong way. I mean, again, someone has to pay for that, but that's still a misprint twice, and it's been going on for a long time throughout the dealership, as I was informed that the prices aren't updated. So when people get there, they don't really know what they're paying, you know what I'm saying? Which is very inconvenient for someone to come an hour and a half out their way, again, to purchase a vehicle which they thought was advertised for what it was online. Right. Lastly, the reason I quit the dealership is my deal got stole one more and one last time. It was a guy named Adam. He was interested in a 2014 Ram 1500 with a K&N Kodak air filter. It was lifted. So he, of course, put in a lead online that came filtered through a different salesman, not me, a different salesman. So Adam called in the next day while that salesman wasn't here at the dealership. He was off. So he called in. I got his first and last name, but then when I put him in the system, it didn't show up. So I said, hey, I don't see you in the system, but I'll have everything ready for you when you come in, and I'll have the sales guy that you were working with when you get here. He said, hey, I really appreciate it. I went in the manager's office and I told him about the guy that was coming in. So then he had some type of recognition of who I was talking about and say that he spoke to him. The internet manager put his last name in wrong when I had it right. His last name was actually Allen instead of Holland. I seen what salesman had that customer, so I called him because, you know, him and I are really good friends. So I called him. I said, hey, what would you like for me to do? The dude's on his way. He's 2 hours away. He's on his way to pick up this truck. He said, hey, man, just go ahead and sell him. I said, all right, cool. I'll cut you some, I'll cut you some whenever you get back. The guy came in 2 hours away. The internet manager had every known recognition that this guy was trying to buy that truck in 2 hours. I would say maybe 30 minutes before he got here, before I was informed, the truck was sold. I'm like, who's the truck sold to? No one's even been inside the showroom physically. The sales manager, he was like, this one guy sent in a buyer's order and he basically signed it and bought the vehicle. So me right now, I'm like, man, it's so unfortunate. So I have to tell my customer that he drove 2 hours here for nothing and the truck is not even available to sell to him, okay? So I bit the bullet on that one, and I was ready to sell another vehicle. But I was like, hey, I'm kind of hungry, and before I sell another vehicle, let me go up here to give me something to eat first, and then I'll just, regather my thoughts and see how I can approach another customer. As I'm eating, I get a call from one of the veteran guys. He was like, hey, that truck that you were trying to sell, you and the other guy was selling the truck to the same guy. So I was like, that's weird. He was like, yeah, because it's either one of you guys fat fingered it with the phone number, but of course the last names don't match up. But he was like, the phone numbers are almost identical. They were just off by one number. He was like, and there's also a credit app for, I guess, his girlfriend, which was named, I'm not gonna say her name because I can't remember her name. It was something foreign. And I was like, no, I think her name was like Kathy or Mary or something like that. And he was like, no, this is not her. So then I say, all right, I'll be back at the dealership, which is basically like 2 minutes down the road. I get back to the dealership and I looked at the credit application. I was like, her husband is not even named Adam. You know what I'm saying? His name was like Michael or something like that. Then we start putting two and two together. Then we realized that this deal was worked underneath everything else. So basically this truck was saved for one of the salesmen's friends. Rather than my guy buying a truck, the sales manager and the internet manager was saving the truck for their friend without even letting me know, making me run all the way around and thinking that I'm getting the wrong people mixed up, the same people mixed up, and I'm selling the same vehicle as the other guy is to the same person. That wasn't even the case. That's when they was like, hey, did he get a buyer? Did he put money down on a vehicle? And I was like, no, he didn't. He's like, because in order for a dealership to hold a vehicle, you have to put down a cash deposit, which there was no cash deposit put down. My guy drove 2 hours to the dealership. Someone bought the vehicle without even putting down the cash deposit. They just signed the paper. I can sign the paper. You can sign the paper. Anyone can sign the paper that has a hand. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean anything. But once you can put money where your mouth is or money where your hand is to give it, then that means something, which they didn't do. Basically, My guy drove 2 hours and that vehicle was still for sale when he was there. They just didn't want to sell my guy the truck. So I felt like, man, you just took a deal away from me. You know what I'm saying? So then I went inside the internet manager's office and then I just bluntly tell him, say, hey, I don't like how we're conducting business around here. He's like, no, see, you don't understand what's going on. You don't, all this and that. I was like, hey, pause. With all due respect, I do understand what's going on. We're dealing with two different people here. Adam Allen and Adam Holland are not the same people. They're the same people, but that's not the guy that bought the truck. I know who bought the truck. It was someone else. And he was like, okay. I said, so you mean to tell me my guy couldn't buy the truck when that guy didn't put down a cash deposit to hold the truck? So who was really supposed to get the truck? My guy, right? So then that's when everything started going down. I said, hey, look, I worked my ass off today. I've been running around trying to figure things out. It's hot outside and everything else, and you guys are not being cooperative with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I am off for today, and I will be back first thing in the morning to sell some more vehicles. As I leave, the sales manager texts me a long paragraph questioning my professionalism, questioning this and that, questioning my loyalty to the dealership. When all the time people's been lying to me, and then when I looked inside basically the CRM, was basically where we keep all of our customer information at. The guy had made an appointment to come in. The Adam guy that originally drove 2 hours. Adam had an appointment on the truck to come in and buy it when the next guy made an inquiry about the truck 2 days later, but never came in to the 5th of June, and my guy was there on the 3rd and the 4th. The salesman started talking to me recklessly. I talked back to him recklessly because if you give me respect, I give you respect. He didn't give me respect, so I didn't give him respect. Started to say that I don't think you're cut out for this business and blah, blah, blah. I was like, hey, look, I'm cut out for the business because I believe in being honest to people and transparent. Because to be honest, people, he's actually came sideways to me multiple times when I basically was informing this woman on why trucks are expensive, or as expensive as they are today instead of 2003 when she last bought a truck. So then when I finally got her into the showroom to try to see if I can at least get her to give a thought about buying a vehicle that day, he came on to me and was like, there's an effing process and all this other stuff, just yelling while I'm on the phone. I said, hey, I need some help. I got her in the showroom. He's like, there's an effing process. Just talking to me recklessly and everything else. And then when I confronted him about it, he was like, hey, I just wanted to know where you were at because I didn't know if you were kidnapped or anything. How am I going to be kidnapped on a car lot? I mean, he's like, I think of you as a little brother. So that's basically why I quit the dealership. It was just too much drama for me. I'm putting in so much work, 78 hours a week, almost about 315 hours a month, and there's only 700 hours in a month. I'm spending almost half of my hours working at the dealership and away from family and friends. And and I'm not making no money. It's $3.78 an hour, essentially. So right when all that happened, I got a call from a great friend. I think it would be a great fit for our team over here at the computer science place. And he said, when can you start? So I basically was like, hey, I can start within the next couple of weeks. Just give me time to tell my job, tell them that I will not longer work for them no more. Yeah, they're happy to have me on board, and I'm so thrilled to basically grow within a computer tech company, because technology is always going to grow. It's never going to go away. It's always evolving. So I'm glad to be a part of that, to basically gain some knowledge on the computer science field. And I'm making, pretty decent money, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna help out on the channel. Of course, like either getting mods for the Camaro or 2019 Camaro or the 2020. You never know. I've been hearing some things about the LT3 motor or something like that, or LT2 or something. I'm not pretty sure. I got to read up on that. They might be saying that the Camaro may be getting some more horsepower or whatever the case may be. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to see on July the 17th or the 15th, whenever the mid-engine Corvette is going to come out. If I hear any news about that could be leading to new engine displacements for the new Camaros, then that's when I'll be like, hey, I'll just wait and get the new motor. If it's not what I think it's going to be, then I'll just get a 19 or a 20. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to have some great content coming for you guys within the next couple of days and weeks and months and years. So let's get it. Peace.